Hey friends, Josh here from Technical Writer HQ, and in this video we're going to talk about the difference between copywriters and technical writers. So get ready to take notes because we're about to start. Careers related to writing are in high demand today, and it's no wonder writers are an essential piece for the success of any business, whether they write advertising texts or technical documentation. When it comes to communication, writers have the last word, no pun intended. The big difference before we jump in and why you might be here is because of pay. According to Glassdoor, on average, copywriters make almost $30,000 less in salary than technical writers. Sure, a few copywriters make a lot of money, but the majority don't. Moreover, AI tools are replacing the need to hire copywriters. So many copywriters are looking to take their writing careers elsewhere, and that's technical writing, a job where you can make almost as much as an engineer. With that understanding, let's go ahead and take a look at the difference between the two in finer detail. So what is a technical writer? There's a lot of misinformation from some employers who confuse the job of a technical writer with that of someone who writes news, blogs, reviews about technology. And that's simply an error. The job of a technical writer is certainly deeper and more complex than that. Technical writers create documentation that makes it easy for end users to use a product or service. If, on the other hand, the technical writer is in charge of the internal documentation, they must write concise pieces to facilitate the work of the other teams in the company, whether that's explaining internal software programs or code documentation for onboarding software engineers. Some of the documents that technical writers create are user manuals, instruction manuals, white papers, user guides, technical reports, scientific articles, case studies, and reference guides. In summary, we can say that a technical writer is in charge of converting complex technical information into concise pieces that are easily understood by end users. Now, what are the technical writer job requirements? There are two essential skills that every technical writer should have. You have superb writing and in-depth knowledge of the industry you're writing for. An easy way to understand it is by taking an example of the two sides. On one side are the engineers. They build and often design a product and refer to it using highly complex technical jargon. On the other side are the users. They want to understand how to use the product but are unfamiliar with the engineer's complex terms. That's where technical writers come into play as translators. Although technical writers do not necessarily need the same level of knowledge as an engineer, experience in the technical field is always desirable. The creation of user manuals, white papers, and product descriptions requires a technical writer to turn complex information into written pieces that everyone can easily understand. That can only be achieved by combining excellent writing skills with in-depth technical industry knowledge. So what are the responsibilities of a technical writer, though? Technical writers write for both end users and other teams within the company. For example, if a company wants to make a car, the technical writer will put together the user manual that comes with the car. Technical writers also work closely with the product design and engineering team to capture their expertise in their written pieces. Their tasks can be broken down to include write and edit technical documents, work with experts to gain a deeper understanding of technical products, interpret complex characteristics of products and services, create a consistent technical writing style across a business or organization. So this is what a technical writer does, but what about copywriters? Let's start with what is a copywriter? Copywriters are in charge of writing pieces of commercial nature, that is, of selling products or services through persuasive copy that gets the interests of consumers. Copywriters use web content, press releases, email marketing, and other marketing tools to convert potential customers into actual customers. Copywriters don't focus on the technical features all too much, or if the user understands how it works, they only care that the user wants to buy the product. For this reason, the copywriter does not need to understand the product at a technical level. The basic information is enough to develop a persuasive copy that translates into sales. Now, what are the copywriter job requirements? An essential requirement to be a copywriter is to be highly persuasive, have in-depth marketing knowledge, understand the needs and desires of the target audience in order to convert them into customers. Copywriters are more inclined towards creative writing than technical writers for this simple reason. In contrast, technical writers must stick to the real facts. On the other hand, copywriters can play with their creativity and create a unique voice to make their writing more persuasive. While if you can identify the author of a technical documentation piece, then that's actually a negative sign for technical writing. And here are some of the other job requirements of being a copywriter. You should have engaging writing skills. You should have an understanding of persuasive writing formulas. You should know how to play to an audience's affinities. You should have strong research skills and great editing skills. Now let's take a look at the copywriter's responsibilities. The primary responsibility of a copywriter is to write content that will convert the target audience into a particular action. This is especially difficult for competitive markets that spend lots of money trying to get their potential customers' attention. Constant research is also part of the responsibilities of a copywriter. Since the market, culture, and customer preferences are always in motion, it is logical that everything changes constantly, including the copy to attract them. The copywriter must keep up to date with the most relevant information in order to adapt their copy to these new standards. And the copywriter is responsible for maintaining the company's tone of voice in the different written publications like press releases, email marketing, or even blog posts. Additionally, copywriters work closely with other teams within the company to capture credible information about the product and turn it into persuasive, sales-generating copy. As you can see, copywriters and technical writers have several differences. And did you know that there is actually a career that combines both of them? Exactly what do we get if we mix a copywriter and a technical writer? Well, we get a technical copywriter. So what is a technical copywriter? A technical copywriter brings together the main characteristics of a copywriter and a technical writer. They are in charge of creating written pieces that promote and educate the audience about a product. Although technical copywriting is a subcategory of copywriting, the technical copywriter uses the product as their primary marketing tool. Creating written pieces in this style is more complicated than writing traditional copy. And this is why the technical copywriter must have the best qualities of a copywriter and a technical writer. While the copywriter would use the manipulation of the client's feelings and persuasion to generate the desire to buy the product or service, the technical writer would highlight the technical characteristics of that said product to make it more user-friendly. Technical copywriters must do both. They'll use their deep technical knowledge of the product to highlight the features which make it better than others. And they will use their unique writing skills to create persuasive copy that motivates customers and potential customers to buy that product and or service. So what are the responsibilities, though, of a technical copywriter? Since technical copywriters must educate users about the product and incentivize potential customers at the same time, it stands to reason that their responsibilities are a mix of the primary responsibilities of a copywriter and a technical writer. Technical copywriter responsibilities include creating sales material, case studies, white papers, how-to manuals, campaign material, and landing page copy. As you can see, technical copywriters are a hybrid between a copywriter and a technical writer. And despite being a newly born career per se, thousands of people are transitioning into this position. If you are still debating between one of these careers and you still haven't decided which one to choose, then going back to what we talked about first is that understand the income potential for technical writing is much higher. Remember that these careers take time and dedication, but they are definitely worth it. Although it's not mandatory that you have a bachelor's degree, at least a certification would be recommended. And this would show companies that you have the necessary knowledge and are ready to start your career in this wonderful world of writing jobs. And there we have it. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to go ahead and leave them in the comment box below. And again, my name is Josh, founder of Technical Writer HQ, and I'll see you on some of our following videos. Cheers.